Welcome to another Anatomy Whiteboard walkthrough. This time we're going to go through blood flow, covering an overview of circulation to set us up for the next more detailed video where we look at the heart and lungs. To understand blood flow through the heart, you have to understand blood flow through the whole body. We're going to put in our thorax, so I'm going to kind of outline thorax, separate it, let's say, from head and neck. I'm going to put H and N, the upper limb, abdomen, below, what is this structure? This is the diaphragm. I drew it a little lower because I needed more space in the thorax, so it would probably be more up here, but for our purposes, here's our diaphragm. This would be our abdomen. This would be, I'm just going to make it look like underwear, our pelvis, and then our lower limb, lower limb, lower limb. Those are all of our bigger sections. So now that we know which parts are which, let's add in our heart. So our heart is obviously found in our thorax. It sits on the diaphragm, more on the left side, and it's got vessels. So I'm just going to draw in a little bit of heart anatomy. All right, this is our heart. Our heart has these great vessels. The great vessels are the vessels you see coming in and out of the heart specifically. That's what those great vessels are referring to. Now, I want to talk through blood flow. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little diagram over here. I'm going to talk through blood flow in a diagram first. So here's what I want you to think about. We have our whole body. That's every cell in your body. Think cells of your muscles, cells of your nerves. Any cell in your body needs oxygen, needs nutrients. And that's what we get out of blood. Blood will come to the whole body. So there's an arrow here. Blood coming towards the body. Arterial blood goes out towards the body. It is oxygenated. So this is plus O2, we'll call it, going to the whole body. What does that look like here? That looks like vessels coming off my aorta and going out into the upper limb and branching. That looks like vessels going up into the head, supplying the brain and the face. That looks like same thing on this side, right? Loop in the hand, loop in the hand. We got it coming off of here. I'm making it slightly accurate, just not 100% accurate. That's arterial blood going out. It's got oxygen in it. It's going to the whole body. That's head, neck, and upper limb covered. How does it get to the other places? Well, that aorta arches, goes down into my abdomen, and then splits like so. Made it a little thicker, and it's going to have branches coming off, going to our gut. Lots of arterial blood. Then we got blood going into the pelvis. We got blood going into the lower limb. All the way down. I'll connect them for this purposes. They don't actually look like this, but you get the idea. Blood going out, down. Big idea. Oxygenated blood through the arteries of our system. Bring oxygenated blood to the whole body. At the tissues of our body, at the tips of our fingers, at the capillary level, we do gas exchange. The cells use the oxygen, and now it's taken out of the blood. What's left in the blood has to go back to the heart, and it now is O2 negative. We are not oxygenated. We are deoxygenated. So this is deoxygenated blood, leaving these different parts of our body through what system? Through the venous system. So the veins of our body bring blood that we sent out to our extremities, our head, our neck, our pelvis, our abdomen, and they bring blood back. So veins are going to be mimicking these things, but bringing blood back. And let's explore where that blood ends up. Okay, we're bringing blood back to the heart. Notice all these arrows culminate on the same structure. And I'm actually going to add in something I didn't before. I forgot to show you that arterial blood comes off and supplies the thorax as well. I just forgot to put it in the picture because I put my heart there. And we also have venous blood coming back as well. And the same thing's happening on the other side. It's just much harder to see. Those arrows aren't going into the heart. They're going beneath it, across. Okay? The point is the same though. Venous blood drains back into the heart through a structure up here, and all the blood from down here drains into this structure. I haven't named it. You might already know what it is, but I just want to complete this picture. So we got veins coming up. We got veins here also coming up. We got stuff going back this way. We have things from our digestive system that might go through the liver first, but then back into this structure. Point being, arterial blood supplies the whole body with oxygen and nutrients. And then once we've used and taken that oxygen up into our cells, it is now dumped back into the venous system. It is deoxygenated, headed back to the heart through essentially two structures is how it gets back to the heart. So we can notice that everything above the diaphragm goes into this upper structure, which is our superior vena cava. So how does blood that is deoxygenated get to the heart? Two ways. Either through the superior vena cava, also known as the SVC, or the inferior vena cava. Lower limb, pelvis, abdomen, inferior vena cava, commonly called the IVC for lower limb, everything below diaphragm, let's say, inferior vena cava into the heart. Everything above diaphragm, superior vena cava into the heart. So inferior and superior vena cava go to the same spot in the heart. So we are going specifically to the right side of the heart. The heart has four chambers, four sections. The right side of the heart, the inferior and superior vena cava go into what's called the right atria, specifically. There is a valve between the right atria and the right ventricle. The ventricle is the pumping side, so I'll make the walls a little thicker. So blood enters, deoxygenated to the right side of the heart into the right atria. Both of those structures go into the right atria, which then goes through a valve, which I'll discuss later, into the right ventricle. We don't mess with the left side with deoxygenated blood. Right side is for deoxygenated blood. It's going to go through the atria, through our tricuspid valve, which is an AV valve, an atria to ventricular, ventricle valve between those two structures. And then from our right ventricle, we go through a structure called the pulmonary trunk. And remember, a trunk is like a trunk of a tree. It's then going to branch. So I will show you. We'll go from our pulmonary trunk, which is carrying deoxygenated blood still, because we have not gone to the lungs yet. But here's the thing that's weird about this vessel. This is technically an artery, but it's the rare artery that is carrying deoxygenated blood. So once this pulmonary trunk, let me just draw it down here, splits like this. So if this is my pulmonary trunk, it's going to split a right and a left pulmonary artery. And those carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So where do we go? We take the pulmonary trunk from our right side of the heart, right ventricle specifically, to the lungs, the right and left lungs. At the lungs, we know our arteries branch and branch and branch and branch until they reach the capillary level in the lungs. And there is gas exchange, which is the function of the lungs, to oxygenate our blood again. So lungs are going to re-oxygenate our blood. So blood coming out of the lungs is oxygenated through respiration, which is breathing. We name the structure that brings the blood back from the lungs to the heart. So notice we go whole body to the right side of the heart, to the lungs, to the left side of the heart. Again, we have an atria and a ventricle. Now this is more anatomical. Atrias are always on top of ventricles, but for this drawing, I'm actually going to put the atria down here, and I apologize if it bothers anybody, but I want the path to be correct. We'll do an anatomical version as well. So this is left side of the heart. Oxygenated blood is going to come out of the lungs through pulmonary veins. This is the only time veins and arteries are carrying what I would call the wrong type of blood. And it's because this is the gas exchange organ. So this is through pulmonary veins carrying oxygenated blood. Weird, right? Deoxygenated from the heart, pulmonary arteries to the lungs, leaving the lungs with oxygenated blood, pulmonary veins back to the left atria of the heart, which then goes through a valve called the bicuspid or mitral valve, which is another AV valve, atrioventricular valve, into our left ventricle, which is uber thick. Why? Because it has to create a lot of power to pump all the oxygenated blood we just made to the whole body. That is circulation in a nutshell. Now I'm going to show it this picture essentially, but in an anatomical way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. I will see you in the next video where we dive deeper into blood flow through the heart and lungs. See ya.